All right, let's do this. Good Monday, everybody. So I have a box that I got from my buddy Tom that I had built a while back for him for 2 beefy 12s, and then he had upgraded to I think 15s. Oops, one more. 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. Oh, it's the far one. Got a lot of switches, bitches. There we go. Oh, keep old Crustmaster B off there. Let's see. So, I wanted to make something that was going to be like impressive. So that's this guy. This is the full-size quad stack V2, if you want to call it that. I decided to put the chrome frame on there. I will call this the Cylon, and it's a reference to the early to mid 80s Battlestar Galactica cyborgs that were like for the whatever the evil guys, Princess Ardala. That's all we'd watch, man. We fucking watch Solid Gold and Battlestar Galactica and Buck Rogers all on Sunday. So as our Sunday wind down. My dad always wanted to watch 60 Minutes, but you know, when you got kids, 60 Minutes is really hard to watch. So, but wanted to go over a couple things. One is the 60 slices. If you want to slice, we got some issues. So one of the issues is that it's too much stuff. As much as I would love to just unload it on someone, load. The problem is that the shipping would kill most people that would want the $1,000 buy-in. So, I mean, you don't want to pay fucking $2,000 for shipping on $1,000 worth of shit, right? So, do some work while we're working. The issue, so we've already had somebody buy in, which is Charlie Havens out of San Francisco. Thank you, Charlie, for your support. And oh, by the way, I made rent early. It's been the first time in like 18 months. So thank you guys for your support. It's I never stop thinking about it. That you know the end could be near at any moment. So, but it's important not to worry, but it is important to be aware and responsible for that. And I thank you for your support. So, but so the buy-in. So Charlie sent us $1,000. Thank you. The problem is that there's a lot of stuff that is. How do I say this? Not popular. Right here. So I use this as a weight sometimes. This is a, in China it's called a washer. I think this is for the Rockford P3, Papa 3, which is a 2.58 voice coil. This is their little baby top plate. But I got literal tons of these, of all kinds of steel magnets that, you know, it requires a lot of hard work and assembly and a magnetizer, which is, you know, most people in this world don't own a magnetizer or even have access to one. So that causes an issue. The other one is just, you know, the shipping cost and the steel. Like, so there are lots of steel frames, which are great for lower powered woofers, which are, you know, typically very popular as far as mainstream goes. Most woofers sold are, you know, 2-inch voice coil, 2.5-inch voice coil. That's it. And you know, most of you guys are maniacs that, you know, want at least like a really beefy 2.5, if not 3-inch, 4-inch, you know, 5-inch. You guys are weirdos. So, and that's difficult to accommodate because what we bought out was 2 OEMs, 3 total. Was it a Dyer, Volcano, and Concept? Concept was the largest OEM, and most of the woofers that they made were, small, petite, stuff for your mom. I'm stuffing your mom, but so that lies the problem, and also like taking an inventory is like insane. Like I don't have the time for that. So one of the solutions that we came up with, right? I don't want to just complain. One of the solutions that we came up with was to just do a buy-in, where basically I like the idea of people being like a dealer. And when I was a Sundown Repair authorized repair center, and I was on their website, I think it was like $1,000 buy-in, and then you could order parts. But as we found out, Jacob's kind of a dick, and what was the best quote I probably got from him was that parts orders are not priority. So I was like, dude, what's the, and I was of course the only one speaking up, because I'm a real person. I'm a man. I'm a human. I'm, an equal. So, but Jacob did not feel that way. So I guess if I was equal, I would own my own, whatever. So, but, yeah, so Jacob always kept putting parts orders as secondary. And then finally he spun it off with, I forgot his name. What's his name? He's the helper dude. Anyways, he started Directronics, which is not really a start. Directronics is the authorized repair center, repair supplier for Sundown, which, God damn it, I almost had it. Brian? Yeah, Brian. So, yeah, I remember one time they sent me, I don't know which cone it was. It was like a 15 or an 18 cone mega roll. And it got crushed. It got crushed in shipping. And I said, hey, can you send me out another one? And Brian wanted me to pay for another one. And he says, like, we'll give you a discount. I was like, motherfucker, these things cost like $5 to $10 from China. Don't fucking tell me you're going to give me a break and then sell it to me for, $20, $30. I was like, you fucking send me another one. And he sent me another one. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not cut out for the kind of ass fucking that Sundown likes to give. So it's probably good that I'm not on their team anymore. But so let's see, authorized parts, blah, blah, blah. So I like the idea of you guys being, I don't want to say authorized. That's kind of dumb, because then, I want you to be independent. That's what I really want you to do. And I want it to be, there's actually this other idea that I came up with called the Little Friend Network. And the idea was actually for distribution of weed. And at the time, only, I think it was medical cannabis in California was legal. And we called up and did some investigating, and we realized that this was not medical. These were just fucking weed salesmen, and it's like, if you lived in like Bakersfield where there wasn't any dispensaries, they would deliver, but they charged you a lot. And I really felt like they were dropping the ball on this, on a huge opportunity for having a distribution network, and also that they're selling themselves short. And you can offer a lot of other services, not just weed. Some people need meals, some people need shopping, some people need chores done around the house, some people just need a helper, some people even just need a companion, whether that be physical or just emotional or whatever. And so we wanted to have a network of people that just, it's like one of the things that, they asked me, like when somebody asked me what I do, I go, I'm a helper dude. I just help people. And so that's what we wanted to offer, and that's what Little Friend Network is. And that's what I'd love to have, something where, well, fuck it. If you guys want to have, give hand jobs, then that's where we can go. Like, hey, Bobby in Oklahoma gives $5 hand jobs, so go check them out. So, but I just think it's a good idea to network and have some sort of trusted friend, little friend network like that. So, but I think we reserved littlefriend.org for that, because of course we wanted it to be not for profit and basically a church, of, you know, just trusted good people that you can find in your neighborhood to provide some services that are not typically offered, whether it be speaker building, or, you know, herbal remedies, or even just a companion, so like a friend. But which is really what a church should do. But of course, like I said before, typically churches just take your money and molest your kids, so I'm not really down for that. So, but anyways, parts, back to parts. So a lot of the parts are like this, like they're just like a lot of you guys would poo-poo this, and really this is actually a nice cone. It's just a poly cone. We'd probably sell it for $5. Of course, not this one. This one's damaged. So, but it makes good frisbees though. Zing! Look at that. Oh yeah, I can be on frisbee golf. So, but there you go. That's a good one. But so the parts. Oh, here's the ones for Charlie. A lot of those are for Charlie too. Here we go. So this is a 15-inch heavy-duty body cone. What they did was they went ahead and put the leads on here with some CA. That's just this top one. So, and they did this. I think Corey Dean, SPL Audio, had talked about doing this. And this is what they did on the concept drivers to get away from using a spider with leads on it. Because, dude, the cost of a spider with leads is like, let's say it's $3, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're buying 10,000 of them, that's a lot of money. And then the cost for like a regular spider without leads, you're talking about pennies, like maybe like 50 cents, 75 cents, $1. So you're paying triple for the leads. So the way they got around it was to use hardworking Hispanic laborers to glue these to the fucking back of the cone. This is still a pretty good cone. It's the standard, I think that's 1.5 inch surround. That's probably made famous by RE Audio and David Moore. David Moore's work with RE. But and then here's the yeah, that's a little weaker. Sometimes what I would do is you reinforce the back with the Devil's Jizz epoxy. You can also use CA, but the Devil's Jizz is stronger. I think it bonds better. Sometimes what happens with the CA is it gets really hot, and before it can absorb it, it starts. By the way, David Moore was telling me things have caught on fire because of the CA. When it oxidizes too quickly, it gets really, really hot. It's an exothermal reaction, if you remember from chemistry class. So, but I was like, no shit, dude. And then lo and behold, we had a spill, and I wiped it up with a paper towel, threw the paper towel in the fucking trash, and the next thing I know, it's like smoking. It didn't catch fire, but it was like smoking. I was like, holy shit. But as far as the parts go, I think we're doing these, I want to say for $10 each. So, but we realized real quickly that we can't just do onesie twosies. We got to do at least 10 pieces. So I think Charlie's going to do 25 of these. And this is just a good cone to have. And that's the 3-inch neck, by the way. And then I found another stash of the 2.5-inch neck, which of course I prefer going with a smaller neck, because then you can adjust it for whatever size you want using your robot cone cutting technology, aka a hole saw. So, but that's what I wanted to show you. You know, these of course are cylinders that we got for base enclosures, good for home, sometimes car, but a lot of these are just parts. And then, you know, it goes up here. These are all ones that we have labeled, you know, different series cones and things like that. And then I have a index of which cone's which. So, but I think it's this one. Yeah. See, this is the J, 15J, and we just labeled them random because we don't really want to use their part numbers. This is the I, 15I. So we got all the way up to I before we just kind of was like, fuck it, this is a lot of fucking parts, man. So, but the idea was to rebox them in a way that it doesn't crush them. So a lot of times the weight alone will crush them. And so with this setup, actually you have to give up the bottom one or even the top one because it just gets crushed. So it's fucking the way it goes. I do want to give you guys extra parts too, because Typically, it's only like if you order 20, we would give you like one extra at least, if not two. Because, you know, if you're doing speaker building, guess what? It just shit gets fucked up, or, you know, like there's a mark on a cap, you know, and the cap is, you know, the tits McGee, that's the thing people see. And so if it's not, you know, perfect, then people kind of spaz out. That's why I've tried to turn lemons into lemonade, and you create something that is okay with marks or is okay with blemishes. So, but some people demand perfection, and if you want perfection, you can go to Nick Hutchinson's, I think it's called Hutchinson Audio. That guy builds some fucking perfect shit. And it's not for poor people. It's definitely for rich people. So, and he was showing me molds, and I think for a day job, he does machining. So, and if you do day job machining, then yeah, you can make some really cool shit in your spare time where you're not working on like stuff for the power company. Like Prodigy down in Florida, that's Mr. Jonathan DeMuth, founder of T3 Audio, from a couple years back, if you guys remember. And Jonathan did some really cool work that I'd love to see him come back, but he's being smart this time. He's making just gun stuff and fucking stuff for the power company. You know, clients that fucking have lots of money. That's, you know, it's better to get rich first and then do cool stuff. Not me. I don't learn my lesson. I'm like, oh, fucking rich snobby guys, fuck you. I'm gonna burn that bridge real quick. So I like helping poor people. I like helping people come up and have a better life. So I guess I'm a jerk. But what was it? The Apprentice program. I think I briefly went over to it and then I got sidetracked on it. So the Apprentice program that I run is, of course, Robot Underground is an outreach program for our church. The church, I've explained, is the Church of Zealtology. And that's what you see on the Google page. And so the idea of an outreach program is, number one, to help the community and sort of put a face behind, you know, another organization. So like when I was growing up, the Mormons did this with Boy Scouts. You know, they would attract. God, that sounds really terrible. They would attract young boys. You know, if you were, you know, like say you moved to the area, and you know, you were looking for your scout troop that's in your area, then you know you would find them, and then of course they have it at the church, and you know they have prayer, and so the idea, of course, is well intentioned, but it's really a recruitment tool. So, and fuck it, I would love to recruit people for Church of Zealtology. The world needs more zeal. You know, feel the zeal, be the zeal. But as far as the Apprentice program goes, basically what we do is we have people help out, and it's the way that I run it is it's based on, number one, the needs of the church. And as far as the outreach program, the shop, the robot. So it's whatever the needs are that day of the shop, and also what their skill set is. You know, Austin Briggle has been helping us out, and he used to fix computers for some guy over in the West Valley. I think of the name, but I'll post the link to the video. He's like super angry in his video, like, I'm here to help you. Like, it's like, what? So, but I think he makes more of his money in crypto and also flipping junk computers to old people that don't know any better. Like, oh, you need a really fast computer? Here's a Duron 900 that's been souped up. But he gets computers donated to him, and then I'm sure he refurbs them and then sells them for a couple $100 to somebody that, you know, which is fine, like whatever. But according to Austin, he's not a very nice person, and he is a little predatory. So, and he took advantage of Austin. So, which brings me to today's quiz. So Austin was over here last night, and I said, hey, when he left, and I said, hey, make sure you text me your hours. So the way that we do the Apprentice program is that, you know, you put in your hours for the day, and then at the end of the day, I usually say, you know, cuántas horas, which means how many hours. And, you know, if you jacked off for 20 minutes or you took a dump or you took lunch or whatever you did, you just take that off in your head. Like, it's really casual. I don't want people, you know, clocking in, clocking out, all that kind of stuff. I mean, you can if you want, but that's, you know, I want to leave it on your own, what is it, recognizance. So I want it to be your responsibility, because the whole idea is to you know, sort of mentor you and get you to be more responsible in your life. And so anyways, I told them to send me the hours, and there became a conflict because Austin says that he was here last week, but he didn't text me. He didn't text me the hours at the end of the day. And so our policy is basically, if you don't text the hours, you don't get the hours. And the idea of that is like I said to him, is to sting. It's meant to hurt, so that you never forget, right? You never forget when your parents like, the stove is hot, and then fucking leaves your hand scarred. You don't forget that it's hot. And there's something very real and genuine about loss and about pain that is helpful. You know, a lot of people don't like the pain. Guess what? Nobody does. But that's why you can use it as a useful tool. Remember, lemons in a lemonade. So I let Austin know that it's our policy to not give you the credit, because it's your responsibility to keep track of it. And I have a couple of high school students that we've done this with, you know, and guess what? They don't ever forget now, you know. And, you know, sometimes they'll take a break because they're a little butthurt, and it's hard to get over that, you know. And that's the whole idea, is that we actually want to give you an opportunity that you cannot find anywhere else. Like, we do $20 an hour in credit here. Of course, it's not money, it's credit. It's, you know, stuff that we sell. And then, of course, everything that we sell to help us survive is fucking wholesale anyway. So the idea is that I try to get you not to consume, but to go flip. Go help people, because that's how you get, you know, your dreams made, is you help other people get their dreams made, right? They need help too. So, and we end up helping people. And again, back to helper dude, like, you know, what do you do? Guess what? I'm a helper dude. That's what I do. I help people. So Austin is upset, and he feels like he's getting ripped off. And I did my best to explain to him that this is how we do it, and the whole point is to learn. It's not to sort of collect. And I've had a couple people sort of have these feelings. Recently it was Dan Hilwick, who, you know, was like, and Dan is older than me, and he was a convicted felon that we had taken in and you know, given him service hours for, I think, his whatever parole or whatever he was on. And I forget what it's called. I'm not super familiar with those terms. But anyways, sometimes he needed service hours, and we helped him with that. And we were, you know, we had let the city know and the state know that, you know, we do this, and they were fine with that. But the other one was the credit. And so there was a couple times where, and I've had this a couple times, so like Dan was into construction, and, you know, when he's working construction and he's a framer, he doesn't make $20 an hour. He makes like, you know, 30, 35 an hour. And I'm like, well, that's, if you're getting money, and that's a different agreement. That's not the agreement we have here. If you can do that skill, we're going to put you to work. And so back to Austin has done computer work for us. And, you know, again, this is an apprentice program. This is not a job. That's an employment agreement is something completely different. And even if it was an employment agreement, guess what? You get fired really quick if you didn't want to, you know, help out and use your skills. And again, the whole thing is to teach you how to be responsible and be an adult and be valuable. And the way that you do that is a lot of it is sucking it up. So, you know, I was telling Austin that part of being an adult is picking up tabs. You know, like how many tabs have you paid for? You know, at the end of lunch or breakfast or dinner or whatever, how many times have you stepped up and offered to pay, or even just paid ahead of time so that nobody else has to worry about that? And that's the things that adults do. Adults clean up shit, lots of shit, whether it be children, whether it be grown adults, all kinds of messes. That's what adults do. And it's important to learn how to be a good adult, because life is fucking messy. Life is horrible. It can be, and it's important to make sense out of it and make some order to it. And that's the job of an adult. So, so I laid that out for him, and he's thinking about it. So, which is good. Of course, I wish the best for him, and I hope that he chooses the hard path, which is to come back and learn. So, but he's in his 20s, and you know, he's had some difficulty with the law and some other issues. And again, I can't make those things better for him. He's got to make his life better for him. He's got to step up and take responsibility for his life. Otherwise, nobody else is going to care. Nobody cares about you. Just so you know that. Nobody cares about you the way that you can. So, you know, they say if you love a dream, you got to love it more than everybody else, because nobody else is going to give a shit about your dreams. So, and that goes with your life. You got to love your life more than anybody. And it doesn't mean about being selfish or cutting about, but it definitely means having boundaries and, you know, calling people out on their agreements. So the other thing that we want to instill and talk about is integrity. So the definition of integrity through Merriam-Webster is a sense or a feeling of being whole. And I cannot express how wonderful that is. Growing up in a family that was like just abusive and terrible and dysfunctional, and I mean, of course there was a lot of good stuff. There were a lot of joy and things like that, but more drama and just abuse and things like that. And so the idea later on in my teens, when I came across a program that was teaching that, I was very attracted to that, because I knew that my path, my heart, was not including alcohol or drugs or abuse or, you know, neglect and anger. So I knew that was the bad path. So I tried my best to sort of work at this thing, and it's taken years and years and years of therapy and tears and hard work. I'm not this awesome because God made me. I'm this awesome because I did this, and it's important that I take credit for it. I remember one time my mentor, George Adair, at the Omega Vector program, I was very grateful and thankful for, you know, he allowed me to be part of their staff for, I think, about a year and a half. And I was like, you know, thank you for doing this to me, for me, you know. And he laughed. And at first I was like, well, what the fuck is he laughing for? And of course, this is internal dialogue. And he says, you did this. I was like, what are you talking about? This is your program. This is, you know, you've put your years of work in this, you know, you've organized this. They have seminars and, you know, building and all this other stuff. And he goes, you did the work, Patrick. You're the one that showed up consistently. He says, in fact, you showed up enough and made progress enough that we would entrust you to being staff on our, you know, crew. You're one of the inside people. And I was like, you know, overwhelmed and was like, no, like, I'm not worthy, you know, that sort of thing. And after like a weekend, you know, because we ended up, you know, staffing and performing the seminar, I realized he was right. He was absolutely right. And it's important. Of course, you don't want to let that go to your head and say, you know, well, I'm fucking awesome, invincible. It's fun to joke that way, right? But, you know, deep down, you really want to stay humble and focus on what's important. I think I was listening to the Russell Brand podcast with Edward Snowden, and Russell Brand was talking about how much of a hero Edward Snowden is. And I thought it was really interesting because, you know, if you say that to Edward Snowden, he's like, no, I'm not a hero. You know, like, he completely puts it off. And what he really wants to do is empower people to be heroes themselves, to step up. If you notice some corruption, report it, or at least document it, you know, something like that, to step up and do the right thing and have the courage to do this. And so Russell was talking about that makes him Edward Snowden an even greater hero, that he doesn't want to be, idolized in that fashion. And so I feel the same way in that the struggle to be free, the struggle to have a say-so in your life is one of the greatest that you'll create or accomplish. And so I want to give you all the tools that I can. And that's what the Little Friend Project is about. That's what Robot is about. That's what even the Church's Zealotology is about. Even though for the movie it's going to be silly, and I want Will Ferrell to be like some sort of character from, what is it? Zoolander. So something like that. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I want to talk to Ben Stiller's production company, because I want to be able to integrate that story into some of my stories. So, and the way you do it is you hire their production company. That's how you get an actor to be on a production. So you pay them well, you pay them points. So, but it's been 30 minutes. I have more to talk about. I have, of course, I want to do something cool, Cylon-y, maybe some sort of red sticker, or I would love to do an LED that goes back and forth like fucking Kit on Night Industries, but I don't think we're going to do that. So, one step at a time, one day at a time, focus on the things that you can fix, and focus on the things that you can affect. And that's all you can do. The rest is about surrender and about allowing, as George used to say it, allowing the lion to eat you. So there's always going to be a moment where, whether it be death or an event or something that is completely overwhelming. And do you want to fight and panic, or do you want to surrender? I think about the guy in Pompeii that was like jerking off right at the end. I was like, oh, I don't know. I have mixed feelings. It's like, in one way, like, I'm like, way to go, bro. And the other one is, it is very sad to see that. Of course, the more moving scene is the mother and the child, and she's covering the child. So anyways, masturbation at Pompeii. But always good stuff here at the Underground. I love you guys. I will talk to you later. And don't let the Cylons get you, unless that's what you want. Then let them molest you, and definitely let Princess Ardala molest you and kiss you goodnight on the mouth. Oh, that was the other one. It was Vicky. My dad had met this bartender at the bowling alley. She was cute. She was definitely fuckable. But she was kind of a hippy-dippy guitar player and pot smoker. And my dad needed the house cleaned and us tended to. And it was just me and my brother Tyson. But I had made friends with Vicky. Of course, I had a crush on her because I was like 14. And she was like probably in her late 20s. And she was really cool. But you look back on some of the things she did, and it was very inappropriate, but I loved it. It was fucking great. But she used to tuck me in at night, and I was 14, and she'd put the covers up over me, and then she would lay on top of me, and then like kiss me on the mouth. Not like romantic, but just sort of like sweet. But of course, if you roll reversal on that one, I can just see guys, heads exploding, and like, some guy laid on top of my daughter and kissed her on the mouth. So, I can say that I was definitely molested at 14, and it was fucking awesome. I highly recommend it. So anyways, I love you guys. I will talk to you later.